Jason Todd, aka Robin, aka Red Hood, aka Batman's greatest failure. This kid is the embodiment of unresolved rage and ultimately betrayal that really turns live. And of course, he directs this back at the people who injured him the most, which he believes is Batman. Now, at the core of Jason, it's pretty easy to see what he's wrapped up in. This is abandonment issues, like an abandoned child syndrome. He wasn't just an orphan, he was an angry orphan who saw Gotham as a system that itself chews people up, and saw Batman as both a savior and a symbol of the hypocrisy that was keeping the city frozen where it was. So when Bruce takes him in, Jason projects all his longing for stability and parental love onto Bruce. But we know that Bruce is never able to meet any of those emotional needs. Batman is a mission. He's not a father. And his penchant for going after these damaged kids is truly disturbing. I'm going to talk about that in a separate video. But that rejection from Batman formed this, pathology. So he was rewarded for the things that he did that were the worst, like violence and conflict. So he started to swim more in those. He became a very violent Robin the more he was trained. And this kid is highly trained. He's out there, man. His skill level is extremely high. Now, after being killed by the Joker, which was a traumatic event, this is really off the hook in terms of like the Joker's sadistic side. He really puts in some work on Jason Todd, or that, Robin at the time. But what he did was kind of erase that entire person. So when he comes back as the Red Hood, Jason's rage is less about revenge and proving that he himself mattered, that his personal pain mattered. Now, his real split from Batman comes when Batman refuses to kill the Joker, even when it's like me or the Joker. And that was it, right? He really went nuclear, and he thought if Bruce wouldn't avenge him, then he values his moral code more than he does this person who essentially was his son. And this is why Jason's moral compass is so, warped. He's not broken, but he kills because he believes mercy is the hypocrisy, especially with a person like the Joker, and maybe that's actually true. Now, there's also this internal conflict that comes along with being Bruce's ward, right? You become the shadow of the Bat. I felt like whereas Dick really fought that role, Jason has definitely embraced that role. So he becomes this aspect of his psyche. Dick was the ideals, all the good parts of Batman. Him becomes this intellect. Damian is his blood, right? But Jason is the shadow, and this is where he really represents Bruce's darker side. He really does. His wrath, his moral compromise, his human frailties. This is the shadow archetype, the part of Batman that needs to exist but must never be acknowledged. Now, Jason's rebellion is in essence this shadow demanding that it be recognized. That part of Batman saying, no, you're not going to keep me hidden anymore. This is how it comes out. And you can see it reflected in all the other Robins that have come through. Now, Jason's resurrection also carries with it this element of, posthumous narcissism. He becomes obsessed with his own death. He immortalizes himself through greater violence. And the Red Hood persona is not just about anonymity. He's not trying to hide. It's about forcing the world to remember him. He wants to create this brand. And his trauma defines this ego. And so he clings on to it like what it really is. It's emotional armor. So he's this paradox. He wants peace, or he says or thinks he wants peace, but he really can't exist right now without high levels of war. So Jason's split from Batman is, I don't know if I'd say it's about ethics. It's about method. He sees the criminal world as a disease that requires amputation. Cut it off, save the healthy body, not rehabilitation. And if we look at the Joker as a prime example, I think we might have to tilt that he's probably right. So in his perverse way, he's utilitarian. He kills a few to save thousands, and that's his logic that ultimately is the endpoint of the Batman Crusade. If you remove the last restraints of empathy, this is what you get, is Jason Todd. So an interesting character that really, I think, says a lot about his own developed character, but he's very revealing about who Batman is and this process that he always went through, being known as the biggest failure, the Robin that failed. It's something he carries along, but in a lot of ways he revealed more to us about Bruce than I think the other Robins did.